My boyfriend cheated and IDK what to do.
Has anyone stayed after being cheated on? 23 female 21 male.
We've been together for 6 months, but we've never stopped hanging out since the day we met. Longest we've probably gone without seeing each other is 3 days.
So despite dating for only 6 months,
I know a lot about him since we're together almost all the time.
He's been the sweetest guy I have ever met. No one has treated me like he has, spoiled me and always got me whatever I wanted. He was perfect. He's made desserts for my family and I. They all really liked him. That's rare for them. I even took him to Florida to meet my brother and baby nephew last month, and he had sex with another girl when we got back from our trip. He's had sex with her before, back in February, my birth month by the way. I didn't know any of this until this past Sunday. I looked through his Apple Watch as a joke thinking I wouldn't find anything, but I found messages, and a picture.
The girl claims she didn't know he had a GF.
He never posted me on social media, but his excuse was because he didn't post in general and wasn't a social media person. But I heard he used to post his ex a lot.
I have so much anger in me RN. I don't want to see his face anywhere and don't want him to touch me.
His excuse was he felt he couldn't satisfy me in bed. I wouldn't come, but doesn't mean I am not attracted. I would still have orgasms. So anyway, he wanted to sleep with someone that he could tell was satisfied during sex.
That's no excuse. He could have just talked to me about and we could have tried new things.
I love him, I really do. I haven't felt this way for someone ever before. I am willing to try and forgive, but I am obviously aware things will never be the same.
I am also really petty, and I feel like if I can't forgive him, I'd probably just use him until I completely feel nothing for him, or I'd probably just cheat back. IDK what to do?
You're 23. You have known him for 6 months. Cut your losses now and move on.
Just 6 months and already cheated?
Hell no. Move on.
Once a cheater, always a cheater.
I could never trust somebody who cheated on me again. Better find somebody who actually respects you. Even if he's nice to you and your family, he's clearly a cheater, and that was no excuse to have sex with someone else when he knew you and him were dating.
My advice is to just let him go. He did it once and he will probably do it again. You will always be alert and probably start checking on his phone periodically, and that's no life.
You deserve a loyal man. Thank you all. I've read each and every comment and I am obviously going to leave. What we had before I found out was good.
But I see now it was all just a front.
I appreciate everyone's responses, advice, heart, hands, light skin tone. I did stay. I shouldn't have. Just break off from the relationship.
I've been in a same situation like yours. You will feel angry all the time and sad on why he didn't change, although you had gave a chance. But for him? After his 15 seconds hookup, he will always have someone to come back to, you.
So it's definitely 100% win for him. I'm worried I am 22 male abusing my girlfriend 20 female because of a TikTok I saw. Is this warranted? Trigger warning for talking about subject including abuse and other sensitive topics.
So for background, my past relationship was very abusive. On her part, it started with love bombing and moving forward ridiculously quick, then onto her threatening to take her own life, pointless arguing 24/7, lying about things like going into a psych ward, making me stop being friends with several people, cheating, etc.
Luckily, I got out of that over a year ago after 2 years of going through it.
Fast forward to now, my current girlfriend is an absolute sweetheart. She spoils me. She treats me amazing. We currently live together and have cats, and our personalities mix so well, and I hope I treat her just as good as she treats me. However, a big part of how we display love, at least I do, is physical playing. I tickle her, we like to bump into each other on sidewalks to throw each other off. We do that taser thing to each other, where you poke under the ribcage, when we're caught off guard, and I like to try to hide and scare her.
She's never vocalized any discontent with anything, and the things she has I immediately stopped doing.
However, I saw a post on TikTok today saying physical abuse tends to start these ways as a form of testing limits, and as someone that's been in the receiving end of that and was raised by abusive, narcissistic people, I haven't been able to stop overthinking it.
I mean, the comments were off on the post, so maybe it received a large amount of backlash, but I have no way of knowing, and maybe I'm abusing her without realizing.
What should I do?
For context, the post said, Did you know physical abuse can start as flicking, poking, biting, tickling, squeezing, throwing things, knocking you off balance, and laying on you? I love you less than 3. For context, the post said, did you know physical abuse can start as flicking, poking, biting, tickling, squeezing, throwing things, knocking you off balance, and laying on you?
This is true. However, the difference between your relationship and the kind the post describes is that in your relationship, you both consent to and enjoy these behaviors, there is not a power imbalance, and you are not doing these things to maintain power and control over her or to cause her fear and intimidation.
You're not testing limits. You are playing with your girlfriend. There's a very big difference. People testing limits tend to not respect when you say no. Whine, cajole, coerce, and guilt when told no. Make it so unpleasant to say no that the other person stops saying no, then slowly escalate their behavior.
I think it would be fine to remind her that if she ever felt uncomfortable with your poking, pushing, tickling, etc., to let you know and you'll stop immediately.
She's never vocalized any discontent with anything, and the things she has I immediately stopped doing.
This is the difference right here.
The testing limits abusive kind don't stop doing it when they're told it's unwanted.
Sounds like this is just being playful with each other as part of your relationship dynamic and you both are okay with it.
You yourself said that if you did something she didn't like, you didn't do it again.
That's not how people with abusive tendencies behave.
If anything, abusers will tend to double down on behaviors they know irritate their partners.
You are fine.
I, 20F, feel unappreciated by my boyfriend, 28M.
How can I fix this? My boyfriend, 28M, and I, 20F, have been dating for about 10 months now. He is my first boyfriend, and first everything romantic and intimate. The issues I have right now are that I feel unappreciated by him.
I do lots for him, like cook him good dinners, compliment him, buy him gifts, just because, do favors, bring him lunch at work, give him back massages, etc. Usually all without him asking. I do all these things because I really love him, but he barely does any of these things unless I ask.
I don't know if I should feel selfish because he does buy me food and other things, but nothing with thought behind it.
For once I just want a romantic gesture like I do for him. We have also been having less and less sex lately, which I am disappointed by.
I have brought this up before and he always has excuses. He's too tired, too late, work in the morning, etc., which I completely understand and would never guilt him or force him into anything, but it just makes me sad.
It makes me feel not good enough sometimes. When I brought up concerns about this, he says that I am desperate for sex, needy, and it's not like the movies. Which really hurts my feelings. I also feel like some of these issues I have are because of our age gap. He is 8 years older than me and has experienced so much more than I have. I almost feel like his life has already been lived and I have no idea what that's like.
Sometimes I find myself wishing we were closer in age so we could experience these things at the same-ish time.
I also find myself getting jealous of his past relationships.
That he has already experienced his first intimate relationship with someone else.
I'd like to end this post by saying that we barely fight, he takes care of me, and we have fun together. But I just want to feel more appropriated sometimes. How can I navigate these issues better? Do you really want to be with someone who calls you needy and desperate when you tell him your very reasonable desires?
It sounds like he's using your inexperience to use you and be treated like a king and then manipulate you into believing you don't deserve the same treatment. Navigate this better by owning your own worth and don't settle for someone who doesn't fulfill you in the way you need. Your partner should want to make you feel special and loved. Screw that bullshit about life not being like the movies.
Let me summarize any upcoming comments. Walk away. You're too young. He's too lazy. You speak different love languages. Go find someone who is more in sync with you. I think the age gap is a bigger issue than you realize. He is an almost 30-year-old man who is using your youth and inexperience against you.
He is effectively training you to be exactly what he wants, which will emphasize his needs and minimize or ignore your own.
I'm sorry, but I don't think you can fix this issue. Quit doing the duties of a wifey. He may buy food and other things, but that's out of obligation. Why are you beating yourself up over someone who doesn't appreciate you? You've just wasted 10 months with him. He's blocking your blessings of meeting that one man who'll love and cherish you for who you are. I say this with love. He is using you by taking advantage of your inexperience and naivete. It won't change.
Get out.
You will do better.
You can't fix it because he is the problem.
Well, at least you know why no woman his age will date him. What kind of romantic thing can a girlfriend, F23, do for boyfriend, M26? I, F23, am in my first relationship, M26, for 5 months now. He's doing a lot of romantic stuff for me, but I don't know what I can do.
I am still a student, while he's having a full-time job. Every time we go out or ordering a delivery he's paying, since I make way less money. My love language is gifts, while his is touch and acts of service, so I try to make small gifts for him time to time, like a game that he really wants, or something related to his hobby. Game cards for his collection, small things that he mentioned he wants, but I don't think it's considered romantic. So what romantic thing I can do for him? Write a song or poem.
Plan a walk in the park with blanket and good conversation. Cook a meal at home. Sit him down, stand behind, massage his shoulders.
Guys are such simple creatures, and your love, respect, and loyalty are really all we need. When we say we don't need anything, gifts and such, we really mean it.
Small things like a meal, a note in our lunch, backpack, or just a random selfie is enough.
The fact that you are writing this in this forum shows that you are a keeper.
Recently, I took my boyfriend on a food tour, as we called it, as he loves food.
First I took him to his favorite breakfast spot. The original place had a really long wait. Then we had lunch at a really good smoked meat shop, went to a cultural festival to try other delicacies, took him to one of the best ice cream shops in the city, which he loved, went to a bar to have some drinks, and then we went to the #1 best pizza spot. It was the best pizza we've ever had, and then finished the night off with wine.
Make a day out of the things he likes. He'll really appreciate it.
Buy him a 911 GT 3 rupees.
Honestly though, gifts do not have to be expensive, but you have to understand his hobbies and interests. And yes, that is considered romantic. To put it plainly, show him that you are interested in the stuff that he is interested in.
Bit sappy, but I sometimes, as I'm leaving my boyfriend's house, I leave a sticky note with a little note somewhere in his room where he will find it the next day. You don't have to be a poet, but just a sentence or two that will make him smile whenever he finds it.
Also, if he likes acts of service, easy stuff like cooking dinner. Make his favorite snacks and a movie night, not on couch on a mattress.